You'll see the thickness now. So see how thick our soup got? And see our potatoes are still whole. And, they've reduced in size a bit because, again, they've boiled off and, thickened our soup. But they're still whole. Our carrots are still whole and still have a bite to them. You see our corn is there. And here's our turkey wings, which are basically falling off the bone, as you can see. Now, some would say... Big Nation crew, this is your boy Biggs, and I am back again with another video. Hey, listen, man. Look, guys, you eyes are going nuts over the first cooking video that we did. It is doing so great. I think it's the most likes that I've ever gotten on a video. I mean, right now it's doing #1 of all my videos thus far, and I am so thrilled. I can't tell you guys enough. I've done another one, and now we're gonna do another one, baby, because listen, as long as you guys are feeling these vibes that I'm giving you, I'm gonna keep giving you some more. Can you dig it? And I know you can. So listen, today we're doing soup. This is one of my favorite things. This is like a Jamaican stew. So you guys know I'm Jamaican. We eat a lot of soup and stew. And so this is one of my favorite things. It's going to be a turkey soup. You guys probably would think of it as stew because to me, soup is typically more of a broth with very few items in it. And to me, I think that's typical of what most people think of soup. It's just more of a liquidy, more broth, very few solid items in it. And if there are, maybe it's just like one or two things. And then, so far as a stew, to me is kind of like something that's a little more hearty, something that has, more like, a lot more meat and vegetables and different things like that in it. But I mean, we all call it soup. So either way, so if you hear me saying soup and you don't really think it's soup, listen, that's just how I call it, okay? It's soup to me. So today it's going to be turkey. I'm going to lay out my ingredients for you as always. So we'll go over the ingredients for you so you know. I'm going to start, you guys know, listen, I am a pinch here, dash there type of cook. I really season by flavor. And just along my years of cooking, my palate is kind of like developed where I kind of know, here and there, and I taste all throughout. So if you guys are cooking, whether if you're just starting out or, or you're a seasoned cook, I mean, my biggest, and a lot of you guys are asking me for tips and recipes and things like that. I love that, but I think one of the biggest things that sorry guys, my eyes contacts about me. Listen, one of the biggest things and biggest tips that I can give is to taste. Always taste your foods. And then the next thing I think would be, when it comes to savory seasonings and things like that, so far as your herbs and things like that, I don't think you can ever do too much, but a rule of thumb for me is like, you can always add more. It's very hard to take it out or fix if you've put too much in. So I don't season or salt my food until the end, after I've kind of seasoned it, and then I'm tasting it by adding just a little bit at a time, and then tasting it, adding more if need be, and then also I typically just start with the base of seasonings, like white pepper, black pepper, garlic salt or garlic powder, onion powder, and those typically are my bases for pretty much anything that I cook. Those are my base seasonings, and then from there I kind of just build on top of that. So that's what we got going on today. Yo, if you're new, thank you for joining me. This is One Cute Fat Boy. I am your boy, Biggs, and you are cooking with me today. I'm still working on what this is going to be called. I don't know, cooking with Biggs, cooking with One Cute Fat Boy. One Cute Fat Boy cooks. I don't know. You guys hit me up down in the comments and let me know what sounds good. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you spending some time with your boy. Please watch till the end and enjoy it. Hey, I promise you a good laugh or you see something good and tasty that you might like. If you're not new, then you know who you are. You already are part of the family. You're my crew, Big Nation crew. Yo, stand up. Yo, give yourselves a pat on the back because you guys are such a great team, man, and a great family. I really appreciate you. This is our channel. I do this just not only just for myself. I do it for you guys because you guys give me so much love in return. And man, I be needing that, man, and I appreciate it. So I love you guys. Please continue to do everything that you guys are doing. You know, you already know what you do. You guys always in up and out of my comments, and I appreciate it. Um, Join me on IG as well. But comment, share, share to your friends, share to your enemies, share to your mama, share to everybody. I don't care. Hey, hit them up, let them know. Big's over here cooking show, okay? And if you're not a part of the crew already, then yo, why wait? Go ahead and join up now. Just hit that subscribe button and show your boy some love. I promise you won't regret it. Man, I'm gonna be kicking out these videos for you guys and trying to really stay true to my word and be consistent for you guys. And when I'm not, hey, you guys let me know. You know how it works. And keep me on my toes, keep me true and honest to the game. You know what I'm saying? But without further ado, man, I love you guys. I appreciate you. We're gonna get it started for today again. Cooking with Biggs on One Cute Fat Boy, and we'll be right back. All right, cool. So we back again. Here we are, and this is our ingredients. So here we have our turkey. Now, I love turkey wings, so I use turkey wings, and what I do is I have them cut up for me. So I have the turkey wings, and if you see there, I have them cut up into stew pieces. Basically, I just have whole turkey wings that I buy, and I have them cut them up into pieces for me. We've got onion, and I think is a Valdalian onion, but if not, I use always yellow sweet onions. We have potatoes. These are, I believe they're Idaho or russet potatoes. Typically, I use a high starchy potato because I don't want it to break down in my soup. I want it to still kind of stay, have texture. I don't want it to just like basically turn into mush. So these particularly hold up well in soups and also help with thickening your soup. I use green onion, carrots, celery. In the back, you'll see low sodium chicken broth. Today I'm using broth. Sometimes if I don't have broth, then I'll use drinking water. But I'm out of drinking water. And so today I'm using chicken broth and then gonna boil some water on the stove. And then I have the seasonings. So you guys, I already told you my base seasoning, which is black pepper, white pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. But also when I'm dealing with the soup, I also like to do a little basil, rosemary and oregano. Just a little. Just a little rosemary, a little oregano. I also have seasoning salt, low sodium salt, and parsley flakes. And I think that's it. Yep, that's pretty much it. So guys, those are our ingredients, and that's what we'll be working with today for our soup. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get this on the stove. Now, You guys are probably gonna think I'm a little weird. Um, I don't know how you guys usually cook your soups or cook soup. Um, Rather than just throw it all in a pan and cook it and boil it down, I cook mine in layers. So you'll see as we go along. All right. So we'll be back when we get started. All right, guys. So we're back, and here we have our turkey wings, and so just know that this soup in general, we're not really adding much. We're not naturally, this soup doesn't really have much fat that goes into it. Of course, we're using turkey, and again, we're using turkey wings, and so there's not a lot of fat there. Some collagen, some skin, in which I leave it all on, of course. Um, but what we are going to do is we are going to add a little fat with some peanut oil. And so what I do is literally about 2 caps full of peanut oil. And again, and you guys just kind of bear with me because of having to film and to cook at the same time. It's difficult. And so we're going to add that to our pot, which is on the stove. And that's what we're going to use to first. This is going to be our first layer of cooking, which is going to be sauteing our turkey and our some of our veggies together, which is going to be our onion, our green onion, and our celery are going to be sauteed as well. Lightly sauteed, sauteed, not brown per se, but typically just until it's translucent. And so, even though it's a little hard to do, to kind of show you my knife skills and my cutting action, I still figure I'll give you a little before and after. So here's the before. Got this bad boy here. I'm gonna take care of it, and this is the after. All right, gang. So here we go. We're gonna add our turkey, and oh man, that's a lot of turkey. To our pot. Sorry, guys. I'm seeing somebody at my front door. So we got our fire down on medium, and we are just lightly, or we're really just partially cooking our turkey, and kind of searing it. I don't want to brown it. I'm just going to add our veggies. Now this is our onion, celery, and green onion all diced up finely. And this is going to be a big pot of soup. So we're going to go ahead and get this stirred around. Make sure it's not sticking on the bottom, because again, we didn't add too much fat to it. Our oil, which we used, our fat that we used today is peanut oil. So we're going to get that in there, get it going and get it happy. And then we'll be back. All right, crew, so I just finished peeling, which you guys know how to peel potatoes. So I just finished peeling and cutting up our potatoes. And we're going to take out any brown spots that we see. Let's see. Yeah. All right, and I just wanted you to see. You guys are just gonna have to overlook my ashy hands because they're ashy because I washed them too many times. So I just wanted to see the cut of the potato, so you guys can kind of see kind of how you want them to be cut. Medium-sized cubes, not too thick because you don't want them to take forever to cook, but they're not too thin because you don't want them to be mashed potatoes. But again, based on the type of potato, if you're using Idaho or russet, they boil. They stand up pretty well to boiling. They have a higher starch value. I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's what these are. And that's it. And I try to keep them all pretty uniform so they all get done around the same time. And that's it. So we got our potatoes. We're gonna get our carrots, and which I buy baby carrots because I just like younger, tender carrots. And we're gonna get those cut up, and then we'll add those to our pot, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So we are getting there. So here we have our already cooking. This is our, remember, our first layer of flavor. This is our turkey wings, our onions, our celery, all cooked down, simmering, and you'll see all the water that has actually come out. So just remember, you might have thought maybe I had a lot of onion and celery and things, but remember, guys, those are root vegetables, so they're mostly water, and they're gonna cook down. And so you see there's already a lot of juices and water and flavor already going on in that pan, in that pot. So now we're gonna add our next layer of flavor, and that's gonna be for here is our potatoes and carrots. And so these are the next things that we're gonna add. Again, they're gonna take probably the most to cook next to the turkey wings themselves. And so again, we wanna add them, layering the flavors, but also taking note of the time that everything needs to come together. So the longest thing that needs to cook is going to be our meat. And so when the meat is halfway done, then we'll add our potatoes, or a little more than halfway done. Then we'll add our potatoes and our carrots. And again, you know, those are going to take a little while to cook. So we'll go ahead and add these in. And then we'll give those a stir. And just stir them in. All right. Well, I'm really just going through the motions right now because it's hard to do it with one hand. Boy, that pot thick, man. You're thick, you know? So give us a bit. I'm gonna get it together and get it right, and then we'll be back for the next part. It's coming together, guys. It's coming together. All right, guys, we are back at the pot again. Now we put in our potatoes and carrots. And so now we are adding in our chicken broth. And we'll just want to bring that up right above our ingredients. Oh man, that almost worked out perfectly. And so we really shouldn't have to put or add too much more liquid to that. I've got a couple bottles of water that, you know, in case we need to, you know, bring that down a little bit. But we should be right on the money with it. And then we still have our spinners, which are the dumplings, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to do dumplings. And typically I do corn. I usually do fresh corn, but there was no fresh corn at the market, and it was like, except for like some that was really, really expensive and didn't look that good. But there was some frozen corn, so I do have some frozen corn that I'm thinking about putting in there, but I'm not sure yet. I think I'm going to. So probably going to. I'm probably going to add that next. And then we'll pretty much let it boil. Oh, someone's got the door. So Monster is up. But we'll pretty much let that simmer down for a bit. Let it cook, we'll stir, we'll taste, and then we'll go from there and see what we need. All right, guys, we still add it, and the soup is in a rolling boil or simmer. Well, yeah, that's kind of a boil. So this is where we are. So now we've put everything in, including the corn. I did go ahead and decide to drop that in there. And this is where we are. I topped it off so that everything could be covered with water. So I boiled some other water and then brought it up to temperature and then added it in so it would not like bring my whole pot down in temperature. And so now I'm at the level, a good level where I like, where everything pretty much can be covered. And so now what I'll do is I'll give it a good stir. Uh-oh. And we see like all those good bits. And we see this is a hearty, very hearty soup. And you'll see, even though those potatoes have been cooking now for about 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, they're still good and hearty. They're still actually a little tough. And so we've got a good, now we've got a good stir. And actually I stirred it already before I started filming again. And then we're gonna go ahead and take a clean spoon and just go ahead and try our soup. Everything's been boiling now good enough to where, you know, everything's sterile, everything's good. You don't have to worry about, you know, tasting any raw meat or anything like that, because the meat is pretty much cooked through. Okay, so now we're tasting our soup for flavor. And this is the first taste test, right? So now we're tasting for flavor. We want to see what our flavors are, what they're doing, what it's like. We're getting to know our soup and what it really is. And now we can go ahead and add a little more seasonings to make our soup for what we want it to be, right? So here for me, I'm going to add a little more seasoning on, which is a seasoning that has a lot of paprika, smoked paprika, a lot of other seasonings, onion, garlic. It's got a lot of everything in it that I want and like in there. So I'm going to go through and add that, some more of that. Not too much because it also has salt, so you don't want to add too much of that, but it has good flavor that I like in it. I've got plenty enough pepper in there, plenty enough rosemary, plenty enough oregano, which be very careful with your herbs. The rosemary and oregano are very strong flavors, so you only want to use a pinch unless you know you really like those flavors. Only use a very small amount, because I mean literally if you use too much, it can take over the entire pot, and then rather than have a melting pot of flavors melding all together producing something, one really great flavor, you'll just have a very blurred, weird taste of oregano and rosemary. Pretty much rosemary, because I think rosemary is probably a little stronger or more potent than oregano, but they're both very potent, very strong, so use them very sparingly. Unless that's just what you really love, then go at it. But remember, this is to your taste. So I added a little bit of that seasoning. I'm still not adding any actual salt yet, because I typically try to stay away from actual salt. Oh, that's annoying. So we're going to do that. And we're going to doctor it up and get it to the flavor that we like. Also now I'm letting it simmer, a strong simmer, because we're also going to start condensing our flavors down, right? So we added all the water, we added a little water, we added our broth. Now we're going to let it broil or simmer. I mean, it's really simmering hard right before it actually starts boiling. And what I do is I put the top on it and I stagger the top to where it's not completely sealed. So some of that steam can get out of there, and rather than condensing back into the pot, it can escape, and that will allow your soup to kind of boil down and really condense your flavors. Alright, so we're going to reduce it. Basically, we're reducing our soup so that it can start thickening up. As you see, it's thickened up quite a bit. That's because we got those potatoes, that corn, those carrots and things in there, all root vegetables, and the corn, a lot of starch. So it's going to hit off in there and thicken our soup up. And so now we're going to condense it down and reduce it. Not too much, because we still want that broth but we want to reduce it down enough to where those flavors start to really come out and meld together really good. All right, so we'll get that done and we'll be back and wrap it up, guys. So here we have it. Finally, we have our finished product. So the only thing that you guys missed is that I just went through my process of seasoning. I finally added a little bit of salt, about a teaspoon about a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon and a half. I added a little more seasoned salt. I added a pat of butter just to kind of, smooth my broth off, and you'll see the thickness now. So see how thick our soup got? You see our potatoes are still whole, and they've reduced in size a bit because again they've boiled off and thickened our soup, but they're still whole. Our carrots are still whole and still have a bite to them. You see our corn is there, and here's our turkey wings, which are basically falling off the bone, as you can see. Now, some would say, oh, why you don't use like turkey breast? I do. Now, it just depends on what I am in the mood for. Now, sometimes if I've cooked a turkey and I have leftover turkey, I'll strip that off the bone and make a soup from that. And I typically, it's a longer process because what I do is just kind of boil the bones and make a broth or stock from it. And I'll boil like my leeks, onion, celery, carrots, and all of that, seasoning, bay leaf. Put that all with the bone or carcass from the turkey after I've stripped all the meat off. I'll boil that all down until, it's a really good stock. I'll skim it, and sometimes if I feel like it, I'll strain it, and then I'll use that as my base, add the turkey back in, and then do a little round of seasoning, and then that will be my soup. Now, it's really good. However, there's some times where, I just feel like having the bone. Pause. I basically feel like there's a lot of flavor in the bones. I like sucking on the bones. Pause. It's just, listen, it's a Jamaican thing, shorty. It's a Jamaican thing. Don't worry about it, shorty. Don't worry about it. It's a Jamaican thing. Look, we love sucking the bones. So, that is nothing but flavor right there. And when you get that meat off of there and then you got that bit of bone and you man, all that collagen's all sticky around you. Listen, I'm starving. I gotta go. But look, this is our final product. This is what we're looking like. It's delicious, hearty. Again, there's really not much fat in there. We put, other than just what's already with the turkey, which again, turkey is not a very high fat meat. It does have a lot of starch in it, so that does break down our bodies with sugar. So I wouldn't say it's like the healthiest thing, but listen, man, if you're looking for something that's, really, you could do this. If you don't want to use salt, you could do it without salt. I would just boil it down a lot more and use like Mrs. Dash, or use a complete seasoning that gives you that. Sometimes it has like dried lemon or something in there that actually is like a substitute for salt, or whatnot. But it's really a good hearty meal. It's healthier eating to me than grabbing a burger or eating fries or other stuff. It's turkey and it's delicious. It's packed full of vegetables, and it's listen, it's exactly what I need. This is my comfort food here. This is when, hey, I'm not feeling that great, or I'm feeling down or whatever. I just want to grab a bowl of soup, watch some TV, and that's what makes me feel good, guys. So from my heart, from my kitchen to yours and to you, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for all you're doing. All the new subscribers, you guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you find this home. Again, this is my channel, but this is our home. This is our family. This is our crew. This is for you guys, and I do it with love. So I really hope you guys can feel that. I hope you watch it all the way through. Remember, if you are new, please join, subscribe, man. I really would love to have you, and I know you'll have a good time. Again, love you guys. Take care of each other and take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.